You're listening to Navid Moosa of the Mindset Movement. Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm the host today and always for the Mindset Movement, the podcast. You can also find me at www.navidmoosa.com. I have some training courses there, as well as some other more podcast episodes. We're 2 years into the podcast, so I'm very happy about that. The team has been great, and they're always challenging me for subjects and topics, and so are you guys, and I appreciate that. For a new listener, thank you. I appreciate you giving us an opportunity here. And if you're a longtime listener, I appreciate the loyalty, honestly. So each and every week we get into it right away. We do not hesitate. So I saw this meme, and it was a snake, and it was a snake wrapped around a saw, like a saw that you cut wood with or you cut anything with. And you saw the snake wrapped around it. You saw all this blood that was coming out, because obviously saws have that, the edge. And it talked about how the caption read something like this. I'm gonna paraphrase: how the snake wandered into a carpenter shop, and it saw this saw, and it wrapped itself around it. But it noticed that the saw wouldn't buckle. It didn't move. So the snake wrapped tighter, and the saw did nothing. I mean, it's a saw, for crying out loud. It's not going to react. It's not going to fight. It's just going to be there. And the more the snake wrapped around it, the more, of course, what happened? The snake got cut deeper and deeper and deeper. More blood came out to the point where the snake died. Right? And I'm like, damn, it's pretty fucked up if you think about it. But it got, the purpose behind that meme or that message, how I want to phrase it, is that it's like sometimes just because you're trying to get a reaction out of something and it doesn't give you that reaction, doesn't mean you keep provoking it. Doesn't mean you keep doing what you're doing. Right. And so the snake is used to whatever it's wrapping its body around. It's used to it reacting. It's used to it fighting itself. And because the saw, which is just a saw, it's a stationary item, right, gave no feedback, the snake was getting pissed off. So it's like, oh, okay, this isn't tight enough. I'm going to squeeze you some more. Oh, this isn't tight enough. I'm going to squeeze you some more. And it never got a reaction. And it did it so much that it killed itself. The saw did nothing. The snake did all the work, yet the snake died. And so I really want you to think about that. I want you to think about the people you have in your lives, the people who you surround yourselves with. Is there somebody who tries to get a reaction out of you? And you may be giving them that reaction. And because they're getting that reaction out of you, they're going to keep provoking you. Is that you? Are you the one who's trying to get a reaction out of somebody, and because they're not giving it to you, you're getting more and more frustrated? And I'm not saying what's right or wrong or good or bad. Okay. Now, obviously, the picture shows it's gory. You got the snake, all this blood, and the saw's cut into it. I get that. But think about this. Really, really think about this. As a parent, I got 2 young boys, and I would like them to react to certain things the way I react to them. But I forget that they're a third of my age, a fourth of my age. I forget that. So sometimes my sense of urgency isn't going to be their sense of urgency. And that does frustrate me, obviously. But the mixed message I give them is what? Act like an adult, but then be a kid. So sometimes if I don't get the proper reaction from my kids when it comes to a homework assignment not being completed on time, or if it's, hey, we're running late for something, or whatever the case may be, or I have to tell you 10 times to put your shoes on. I mean, come on. All those things that the parent frustrated us, right? Because we know the importance of being somewhere on time. We know the importance of not procrastinating. And so when we see somebody do it in our adult life, that frustrates us. And then we forget that these are kids. So their exposure to life is nowhere near ours. And so that's one way that you could be the person who's the snake who you're squeezing somebody and not getting the reaction out of them. When in reality, that's the most you're going to get from that person. And it's not knocking the person. It just means that's just the most you're going to get. So we need to look at that sometimes, right? We need to understand that mentally we are in one space and maybe the person we're affiliating with is at a different mental space. Now, at the end of the day, it's our choice if we choose to still fuck with them or not. We could say, no, this isn't happening. This is not working. So we're not going to, and that's fine. You put them into a bucket. And I talked about this in a couple of episodes ago, where we put people in different buckets. And then there's people who are the snake to us and we're the blade, and we don't give them a reaction. We don't, because we're like, I'm not where you're at. And it's not to speak down on anybody, just you are not mentally where they're at, and they're not mentally where you are at. It is up to us to make the decision if what kind of effort we want to put into it. Do we want to keep squeezing? Do we want to not react? It's our choice. It really is our choice. But sometimes it's a hard time to admit, right? Because then we're putting the responsibility on us, and who the hell wants responsibility? No one does. But I just want you to think about that. Survey your life, survey your circle, survey your inner circle, your outer circle, your sphere of influence, how you want to call it. Survey who's around you, who you surround you with, and who you surround yourself with, rather. And what's the dynamic? Are you somebody who constantly wants to just keep pushing people just to get a reaction out of them? Or you just somebody who just stays there and reacts to nothing because you're happy where you're at? Again, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. It's just, what do you want to deal with and what do you want to put yourself with? Personally, I like to push people to better themselves. And yeah, I'm going to push you to a point where you get me a little bit frustrated, maybe a little upset at me. And I'm okay with that. I am. Because then it kind of lets me know what I can and can't do. But if you tell me, leave you alone, I'm going to leave you alone. Then you need to deal with that then too. Because I will leave you alone. And I'm not the only person who does that. There's a lot more people than we realize who if you say leave them alone, they'll leave you alone, and then you will be alone. So you need to recognize the snakes in your life who just, are there for good or there for bad or whatever. I should say good or bad. Sorry. Are they there to push you or are they there to manipulate you? I should put it that way. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Each day we do our best to give you guys material here to make you think outside of the box, to make you the better you, to put you in the mindset of what it is to be self-employed, and just to be the best you, man. That's really about it. So in each and every week, the show saying the same way. Just do right by the client. Do right by the client, and everything else will fall into place. And sometimes that client is you. All right. Be good, be safe, take care, and I'll see y'all next week. See ya.